Welcome to another live stream. This is of the 1965 movie that came out right after Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. Invasion of Astro Monster, aka Godzilla vs Monster Zero. Yeah, this one's 94 minutes and 13 seconds, so let's get started. Can't wait to do this one. It's been a while. Come on, play. Here we go. This one's a more sci-fi one, which is great because I love science fiction, so it starts right in, too. This music, awesome music by Akira Fukabe again. I love this music so much, man. Akira Fukabe's music will bang forever. No one could do it better than him. He did the best Godzilla themes in the entire franchise. May he rest in peace. Thanks, man. Also, rest in peace to Sabu, wrestler, ECW wrestler. May you be in a better place. You're not suffering anymore. No more pain, man. Thank you for entertaining us for so many years in ECW and WWE and such. You'll never be forgotten, Sabu. Now let's get to the movie, right? Kira Takarada's back in this one. He missed a couple of them. Because after the original, he didn't do one for a while. This opening is much different than the English version. Nick Adams is the only one dubbed in the Japanese version because he was speaking English. Because he didn't know Japanese. But he was fascinated by their culture just like I am. Goro Naya as Nick Adams. Rest in peace, Nick Adams, man. It's too bad, man. He had a lot of problems. Shiro Honda, man. He's still the best Godzilla director that there is. There's other good ones, too. In the year 1960X, a new mystery was born in the galaxy. And this is also the same year Gamera made his appearance in Japan. In that Daiei Studios. Because they saw how successful Godzilla was, so they made their own monster. P1. This one's much more sci-fi than the last one, and there's no profits. There's no profit here. There's no the peanuts are not in this one. Only 3 hours and 59 minutes. That's long. 30 seconds in space. There's the girl of the movie. She's a different girl this time. Yeah, you could tell that it's dubbed in Japanese with because this movie was, you know, Nick Adams spoke in English. He didn't know Japanese. Haruno. You wouldn't understand, of course. He's white. A white man that didn't speak Japanese, so they had to Fuji, yeah. Not Fuji. His name is Tetsui. She's another cute girl in a red blazer, but she's not. It's not the same actress. It's a different actress this time. It's good to see a new face every now and then. But the actress in this movie that steals the show is Namikawa. Oh my God, that woman is so sexy. You're gonna be hearing that a lot in this podcast. So, oh, that's painful. Oh yeah, I hate that sound. That's the worst sound in the movie. That Portable defense device. Yeah, that's really annoying. Thank God that was never in any of the other films. Tetsuo. So the baby. Why you can't sell this great invention? Because the noise will kill my ears. Tetsuo was his name in this version. I think they called him Tetsui in the American version. Again, I don't speak Arabic. Will you get out of here? Why are all these foreigners bothering me? Tetsuo Tori, yeah. Yeah? Planet X. There is no 13th planet. There's only... See, all this thing. You know, I'm going to have to hide... in the chat, I'm going to have to monitor it to make sure that there's no more of these people. Yeah, here we go. Inappropriate chats, messages for review. There we go. Now you can't get me. Stupid trolls. If it's heterosexual guy, I know that he's one of my subscribers. If it's him or Josh or somebody else, I know that it's them. It's not some jagoff trying to bother me. I'm not in the mood today, guys. This is the last Godzilla movie I'm doing in the classic media collection. The next kaiju film I do after this is in a couple of days. I'm doing Mothra, the original, not the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. There she is. 7 minutes into the movie. You're gorgeous, man. I can see why Nick Adams was so crazy about her. Yeah, she's one of the most gorgeous women in any Japanese movie. Haruno is the other girl. She's still alive too. I love that. She's she's like 88 years old now. Yeah. Her birthday's on January 1st. It's the first birthday I acknowledge every year. She's 4 days before my birthday. Douche day. People could watch, but I don't want them leaving stupid things here. You can't. You are out of touch with it. Your brother's the awful one, yeah. And they have good chemistry for two completely different. Between the two completely different people, because one is from Japan and the other's from America. So, and they're actually in the same shot. It's not Raymond Burr when they inserted him into the Japanese version of Godzilla, King of the Monsters from 1956. This Nick Adams was in the film. I can put a leash on you from here. I miss movies like this that were telling a story. Godzilla doesn't show up for a while, so you have to wait in this one because they land on Planet X and they see Monster X. The Monster Zero, not Monster X. Yeah, he's the only actor dubbed in this in the Japanese version. He's dubbed. In the American version, they're dubbed. So it's weird. It would have been nice if they had a cut where he was talking English and they spoke Japanese. That would have been better, in my opinion, anyway. But because the Japanese speakers couldn't understand English, they're like, no, let's just dub them over. It is what it is. In Japan, Sonic is dubbed over in the Sonic the Hedgehog movies that were made here in the U.S. Okay. The weather was nice today, but this is a much slower movie than Ghidorah was because Ghidorah had, some things happening. You had Mothra show up, and then you had Rodan, and then you had Godzilla. But this one, Mothra is not in this one because the budget was going to get too high. They already had to spend on miniatures and the spaceships and things like that. You could tell that after this movie, this was the peak for most of the '60s Godzilla films because this one after this one they lost to Shiro Honda for a while. They had different directors and different writers, and the budgets got lower. And while they did introduce some new monsters in the later films, like in Destroy All Monsters, but after Destroy All Monsters, they should have stopped for a while because then they did a lot of them that were cheap and used a lot of stock footage. Because yeah, this to me was like the peak of the franchise where in the old series where it was like not the last enjoyable one but it was the last one that was part of that classic media standing of the original Raids Again, King Kong versus Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah, and this one. Those are the Sinister Six, if you will. Then after this one you got versus the Sea Monster, which I do like, but it's way sillier than this one. You saw the US flag, the UN flag, and the American flag. There's Ghidorah's electricity. You don't see him yet, but you get to see his. Hmm. There's no lightning in space. When it rains, the clouds form on Earth, not in space. There's no atmosphere. How could there be rain on or electricity on in another planet when I'm like there's no air up there? Yeah, now you can't bother me anymore. You chat, you freaking trolls trying to bother me. 1 o'clock now. 15 minutes in. Here comes the controllers of Planet X. The controller and they shot him. Yosh. Yeah, Akira Takarada at least came back, or Akira, because they say some people say Akira and some people say Akira. Got a lot of notifications here. Because even as a kid, I didn't know her name. It's a Bruno. It's good effects for 1965. They got a lot of hallways and practical effects, you know, spaceships and things like that, spacesuits. And the movie's not 3 hours long like Interstellar or 2001: A Space Odyssey. Those are way too long. I love Interstellar. I love the way it looks and the acting is great. It's got a lot of atmosphere, but this is way too long. Even for Nolan. And I'm like, you know how Nolan, how self-indulgent he is. I love the look of his films, but man, you gotta make your movies shorter. Welcome. Look at those suits. They're all men except for Namikawa, who looks sexy in that suit. But you'll get to that. Last time I saw this in Japanese, I think it was in 2011. Yep. There it is. Monster Zero. We know who it is. Hey, heterosexual guy. Since this is a monster movie, I said this is better than pacing to the 2014 movie. Yeah, it is. Because it's shorter. You don't need to show the monster at the end. Eesh. I will show you Monster Zero. We know who it is. 20 minutes in. It's Ghidorah. They call him Monster Zero in Godzilla vs. You give names to all these things, yeah. They give them numbers. Yeah, because they called him Monster Zero in King of the Monsters. And I'm like, I know who that monster is, guys. I've seen it. but nothing worked. Just wait until he leaves. This is where Ghidorah went after he got defeated by Godzilla, Rodan, and Mothra. He went into space. The only stock footage in this movie is with Rodan. I don't know you either. Speaking alien language. That was cut in the English version. They would cut the alien language because people didn't want to read subtitles in the U.S. We're just kind of lazy that way. When it comes to American cinema, we don't want to read. We just, if we got to read an opening crawl, that's fine. But subtitles, no. People rather do that at home than in the theater. Let me lie down. Hydrogen dioxide means water. Lots of cereal's gone. Slight mistake, yeah. They made a mistake messing with human beings. King Ghidorah with the bar Godzilla and Rodan. You did. I did see this once, but I remember it being just okay. But it's only one time. No, I enjoy this one. I don't love it like I do with Godzilla versus Mothra or Ghidorah because I saw this one as a kid. But this is the more sci-fi one that got me into Star Wars and Star Trek and things like that. And it still has the sexiest Asian woman in all of the Godzilla franchise. Myogen. Kumi Mizuno is the hottest woman I've ever seen in any Toho movie, Josh, and that is my honest opinion. She looks like Brenda Song if Brenda Song was Japanese. There's no cure on earth for cancer, no. I wish. See, they fooled them into thinking they have a miracle drug and they don't. It's just this one kind of gets too weird. I know, Josh, again, this is more for me. This franchise, this is the same decade that gave us the Gamera movies. What did you expect? Those got ridiculous from the start. I mean, he's a friend of all children. Godzilla was not the friend of all children. Of course they're villains. They're wearing black. And he has an evil laugh. Of course he does. Weird. This is not weird like Godzilla versus Gigan. They talk. Mechalon, they have like white Asian girls in plastic bags dancing, and there are no female characters in that. This looks like some of the effects in Ultraman, or another tokusatsu show like Kamen Rider or something, or Power Rangers. Space P1 returns from Planet X. Back to Earth where all the problems happened. Look what my dog did to me yesterday. She bit me. Unfortunately. Never touch a dog when they're sleeping, because they'll just nip you. There she is. No fatal disease on Earth. Peace in the galaxy, I wish. I love this franchise. You guys know that. I love Transformers too, but the Michael Bay movies are a lot to deal with. These movies run at an hour and a half. They do not need to go over 2 hours. The recent ones did because the recent ones have to be overly long and talky with a bunch of people that I don't care about. Mostly. In the Japanese version, they don't say the Myojin because it's a fictional place in Japan. Tokyo's real. Myojin and Washikasawa are not. It's like San Francisco in Big Hero 6. It's not a real city. It's a mix of Tokyo and San Francisco. This guy was in Ghidra. He was one of the killers, remember? He has those big teeth. I'm not making fun of him. He does have big teeth. Sacho. Get rid of him, but politely. He burned in his invention, the blueprints. Japanese girl. I mean, you don't think I would have a chance with a girl like Karen Fukuhara? I'm like, yes, Josh, I would, because she's young enough for me. You're late. I like to see two cultures get together. It's welcoming, especially in this world where there's so much difference between us that we can't even get along. Lady Guard. I always agree with the girls. You better do something exactly. Yeah, I miss Nick Adams a lot. Until later in life because I hated the 1998 movie. Again, Josh, you gotta let that go. Just because you hated something in the past doesn't mean you gotta forget about it completely. I'm not seeing Thunderbolts. It doesn't mean I'm giving up on the MCU completely. I'm still watching stuff and all. There she is. Show. Nisa. I'm a man too. Because before the 2014 movie came out, I went back and watched the Japanese versions of a lot of them, including the original. So there's always another chance to watch it again. Planet X prediction is correct. 32 minutes in. Haruno is cute, but Namikawa is gorgeous. Really is. Mm-hmm. Because Takarada was not in this movie. He was in Mothra. Not this one, though. I mean, not in Ghidorah. Good looking. No, it's a spaceship. A UFO. At least something is happening. Some of the Godzilla movies have a way worse pacing than this one, besides the 2014 movie. Like Godzilla vs. Gigan. It takes a while for it to get going. This one, at least you have space exploration, so you have that. Like Endgame, space and time. There's another spaceship. The spaceships fly all night, and then the next shot it's daytime. Oh no. I didn't see Echo or What If or even the other show that came out, Daredevil, because I'm just not interested. If I don't like the actor, I'm not going to see their show. Planet X people, yeah. A bunch of men with visors on their eyes, like Cyclops, and tight pants. The Commandant. Or the Controller, like they say in the English version. Friendship Day, huh? I know she's not Wanda, Josh, but I don't have to. I'm not pretending that she is. Her story's completely different. It's not a sitcom. The show had comedy in it, but it wasn't like every second. And it was not. It was much darker and more supernatural than WandaVision was. Mm-hmm. This is where they transport them with their beams. With Ashura Honda, you're going to get a lot of characters and, people talking. So that's what you're going to get with some of his Godzilla. Here we go. There he is. He's asleep. His tail's in his hand. Rodan is inside of a brick again, a rock again, just like in the last movie. Except it's not a volcano this time. It's a hole in the ground, in the wall. There he is. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. We're 40 minutes in. We're about halfway through the movie. Yeah, almost. It's Dr. Sakurai. You have to marry me right now? I wish I could. Yep, they're going into space. The control room. Seem very nosy. Time to go up into space. Goodbye, Earth. See you in the next act of the movie. Yep, they're following them around in a little bubble. 457 million. That's correct. It's only been 4.5 hours since we left Earth. 1/10 of the speed of light. There we go. Of course, now it could be sexy or something like this. I would eat her up if she did a movie like this or something like it. I'm already attracted to her, so yes, it's after the Godzilla victory dance. This was gearing more towards kids than the first four films. Those were more serious and less cartoony. That man comes to the island. Yeah, he falls into a pit. Ah! That's also in the Japanese, in the English version. He fell. Here they come. See, it takes a while for the battle to begin, but again, I know my preferences. I know what kind of women I'm attracted to and which ones I'm not. It's all about perspective. Almost there. Even though this is a slow pace, slower than the last two, it's not 2.5 hours, guys. When a movie is that long, it doesn't need to be that long. That's the pacing of a snail sometimes. They made it to the ground. So a tube, they got a giant tube. Monster Zero. Here we go, monster fight time. Now they're gonna wake up. 49 minutes into the movie. That's about the pacing of the 2014 movie, except there's more monsters here. Rodan's awake too. Here they come. Different suit than the last one. They changed the head. Oh man, these effects they've aged well like a fine wine. And this movie, this year is the 60th anniversary of this movie. So in Japan, we didn't get it until 1970. Could not attack us now as freely as usual. He's throwing the rocks, not as much as the last movie. Rodan throws a rock too. Take that. He jumps like Michael Jordan. And of course, Ghidorah flies away like he always does. Here comes the happy dance. I love this. Yes, this was based on a Japanese dance. Watch. They didn't have the sound effect. He just dances. In the English version, they put the stomping sound. Yeah, the Godzilla happy dance. In the Japanese version, there's no sound. It's just him dancing. I prefer the dub where he's just like I love that he does that little dance. The- the- It's like the Klingons of Japan. Go in the middle. They're wandering. An elevator. Bye, guys. Report to the command. Come in. Switch. The switch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like a Infant Island. A little bit with just gold instead of plant life, like in Godzilla vs Mothra. Water's more precious than gold. Someone's coming yet. And there she is in that sexy outfit. Hmm. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh my god. Hmm. And there's another one. She looks great in that outfit. It's one of the sexiest outfits I've ever seen in a Japanese movie. Hmm. And in the English version, it's like how come all the women look like? It is sexy on the girl. The guys, it just looks like tight pants, but the girl is like it looks like a latex suit. And let's face it, women look better in pants than men do anyway. We drag our pants, and women don't do that. You know, respectable women usually have tight pants, and they form it really well. You ever seen a jeans commercial? Even with mom jeans? Also, there's no scenes cut in the American version. All the women have the same face. Am I a beautiful face? Yes. When they're all the same. Beauty stands out in individuals. I wear a belt with my pants. Yeah, I have. Have you been invited as state guest yet? Big mistake, Planet Xians, because the humans get the better part. They beat you because you're stupid. Just like the aliens, and they're not as stupid as the aliens in Battlefield Earth. They're completely morons. They're like, we're gonna put a machine that makes you smarter so you can beat us. Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, the cure for cancer is on tape. And it's a lie. It's a ploy to be like, you're gonna become citizens of Planet X, or we're gonna destroy you. Tobo. We analyze all the details of your spaceship. Yeah, you know, the Battlefield Earth before you could spell your name. Yeah, again, there's none of they don't have acting like that here. Hmm. Godzilla and Rodan are left here on Planet X until the third act of the movie. Mm. There she is again. Mm. Mm-hmm. The Commandant. They made it back to Earth. It's 144. They're clapping, but it's for nothing because look what happens. The twist. Because everything has to have a Shyamalan twist. Yeah. She's like, ah, fooled you. Tape. Who uses a tape now? Now use a digital drive to hear. Here we go. Planet X. Yep. Here comes the twist. Orders to the Earth. Who didn't see this coming? Earth will be under the control of Planet X and become a colony planet. If you do not obey our commands, we will exterminate Earth and mankind from space. What did you expect from aliens? The Earth is allowed to exist as our colony. Mm-hmm. Oh no! The aliens wanted to take us over. I'm like, did you see Independence Day? Or any, or Day the Earth Stood Still, or War of the Worlds? Yeah, aliens are usually hardly ever friendly, and when they are friendly, there's a kids movie usually. Riots, yeah, mass insanity in many areas. Yeah. It's a little tired. I'm gonna take a nap after this. Here comes Namikawa's last scene in person because you have a narration from her later in the film. Hmm. You've seen women who have the same face. Tell me about it, baby. Whether that's subject to me? Yeah, you got that right. Take that uniform off? Ooh. Well, not robots, yeah. What kind of piece of it is controlled by machines? You know, like today. Mm, Has a computer taken over your conscious? It's too late. Uh, yeah, I prefer Glenn's original voice, you know, Nick Adams' performance in the dub version. That's why it's good to see the dub version, because you get to hear Nick Adams. Watch his gun, it turned into a toy. Look. It turned into a red water pistol. Yeah, again, they didn't have a big budget for the props in this movie, or some of the props. She is so cute, man. Just one of the most sexiest Asian women I've ever seen. In the English version, she says, "I love you." Look at that face. That is near perfection right there. Yeah, and they kill her. See, this movie has a dark point. They do like what they did in Rise of Skywalker, except it's done way. It's not as abrupt, and it's shocking, especially killing a woman in a '60s movie. What did she do? You had to kill her. Computer controls our actions. We are not allowed to love or marry unless the computer orders it. Really? So you're Tinder now? That is dark, yeah. One of the girls gets killed in a sci-fi movie an hour into the film. King Ghidorah is in the United States. He was in King of the Monsters a few years ago. Yeah, in the English version, this girl's like, "Look out the window." It's funny. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. And this one, they just say "flying saucer." The P1 destroyed. The satellite gets hacked. Yeah, Magneto would have had a field day with this. It doesn't mean I'm not going to see Avengers Doomsday. It's just that I don't want to see Thunderbolts in the theater. Just don't want to. There is no reply for our orders. I shall not explain how we are going to neutralize the Earth. Mhm. Electromagnetic wave. They even tell them what they're controlling them with. By these two monsters. Orders for the monsters for 24 hours. Mm-hmm. The new Magneto could have fun with stuff in the new plan. The thing is that they're bringing back Ian McKellen in Doomsday. So what new Magneto are we getting? They didn't want to bring Michael Fassbender back, so they're bringing back Ian McKellen, and uh, the original Mystique, Nightcrawler, and a bunch of others. I'm like, yeah, because they got nothing else. They don't have Jackman for this one, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna have to wait. soundproof because they can't handle sound. Certain sound. It kills them. It's like the aliens in Mars Attacks that certain music kills them. It makes their heads explode. That's a dumber movie than this, Josh, because they have a massive amount of comedic actors and they get all 90% of them die. It makes no freaking sense. Here, only one of the Planet X the girl's eyes. Being controlled by electromagnetic waves. Yeah, I want to see Mr. Sinister because he's the only other villain I could think of besides Galactus and Doctor Doom that could hold an entire film. We're 68 minutes in. We're almost done. We're in the third act of the movie soon. It's a Sony because Sony is like this company in Japan. Tape. The X-Men cartoon. She really enjoyed it. We'll show her X-Men 97 eventually. Yeah, and I can't wait to see X-Men 97 come back because that will return soon in about a year or so. Outside of our elected range. Actually, returns of an apocalypse and the Polaris are going to be there. They better do it right this time. No learning. We don't need any of that this time. That was a mistake they'll never make again. Fox made that. The letter she gave him. You saw they cursed in this one in the Japanese version. When you receive this letter, I shall have been eliminated for disobeying our computer. I have no regrets. Found love beyond computer compensation. That's nice. People on planets are them from a certain type of sound. Good. That's what it's from a soundproof, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's lucky he had a copy of his machine, of his device. Looks like a CD. There you go. Yeah, it'll shake your teeth, Luke. Watch. Ugh. That's really annoying. Yeah, and they watch this guy's face. They're screaming like little girls. Yay! But look at this guy's face. Watch. Look. He's like, ugh. That's hilarious. They can't take this out. Oh, that's funny, man. There's some touches that the Japanese do that just crack me up, man. It's just a visual gag. They're doing like a kiss. Polaris was in X-Men Days of Future Past, right? Or in The Gifted. Yeah, that sounded really is annoying, but thank God it's not in the whole film. It's only yeah, take that. Mm-hmm. See, he beat up a bunch of the Planet X guys. The white guy has to do it. At least he's an active character, right? Yeah, The Gifted. Mm-hmm. So was Blink and Magneto's children, I think, or something. Yep, they destroy the ship, but they're not on the ship. Yeah, her sister is Wanda, and they look alike. They have to swim all the way to shore. 5 hours left. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They know what that means. Some of the words are not dubbed over. Attack the Earth immediately. Yeah. Attack. Here we go. They're gonna attack. Yep, villagers running. Here comes Rodan. It's mostly villages. It's not really like a big city like in the other films. There's the little cars. We're in the third act. We're 77 minutes in. We're almost done. Mm-mm-mm. Yep, Rodan knocked down the bridge. The mighty wings. Look at Godzilla's feet. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna do great in Supernova because we already know that she can helm a movie. Hopefully, Kieran Shipka can get her another shot. Has three toes. Yokai. There's Mount Fuji in the background. This is the only stock footage in the movie for Rodan. I didn't see Rodan as a kid. I didn't watch it until I was in high school. Dubbed. See, that's real footage. There's Ghidorah. Da, da, da. Yep, Ghidorah just stepped right into it. He still has one of the coolest designs. You tanks can't do anything. There's Godzilla's tail again. It's funny how that roar came from a contrabass with a rubber glove, stroking a rubber glove onto a contrabass for the most iconic roar of all time. And take that. Not gonna do anything, guys. Yeah, burn it down. Mobile oil, not mobile oil. That's stock footage. See, that was stock footage from Rodan. The guy grabbing the tree. I didn't know that as a kid, because as a kid I didn't know what stock footage was until years later. I'm like, this footage looks familiar. I'm like, oh, because it was done in another movie. And I haven't done Rodan yet because I don't have Rodan. I do have it on streaming, but I need another device to play it on. With headphones, I don't want to get a copyright infringement. Stock footage. Some people didn't know that unless they saw Rodan from 1956. The dissonant sound you hear is not a malfunction. Please don't turn it off or raise the volume and keep it up. Yeah. It is like Mars Attacks. So Tim Burton took from this movie and did it with the aliens, but he put like classical music or something. It's like or some music like that that kills the aliens. It's really strange. Here it makes more sense because it's a '60s movie, but in the '90s, that would be like if an iPod could kill an alien. Makura Island. I can mute this because it's the same line. Don't turn up the volume and keep it up. Did not turn on a radio. I don't even have a radio. Yep, here it comes. Yep, you got yours. Now you got that awesome marching theme from the original Godzilla from 1954. It fits this movie though, because the movie is not as grim. It's a lot lighter and it's funnier. We're 85 minutes in. We got about 10 minutes left. Or about 10 minutes left, yeah. Oh, that sound is really annoying. Let me lower it. Much better. That's the one thing I don't like in the film. That sound. It's throughout the like the second half of the film. Look, it's a flying saucer. Mm-hmm. They don't use electricity in this one like they did in the other film. In Godzilla vs Mothra. So the home base wasn't right there. Stop it? No. You try to kill the human race. What do you expect? We're going to retaliate. Yeah, I love music. I love this music so much, man. It'll never die, man. This music is gonna live forever. So is that roar. That roar is like music to my ears, man. Yeah, even after this happens to Ghidorah, he's still bad. He won't never change. Yep, Rodan falls right on his back. And then Godzilla falls with his hand in his mouth. Like he just had a fainting spell. Look. What a great franchise. I love this franchise so much. This won't be the last movie I do in the franchise, but this is the last one I'm doing for a while. I'm doing Mothra in a couple of days, and then I could do Biollante next week. Possibly. Again, man, these movies are classic, man. You can't beat them, Japan, America. You just can't. They're the ones that made this franchise, not the British, not the New Zealand, not Aussies, Japan. They're the OGs. That's why their movies have stood the test of time. Yeah. So suck on that, Rebecca Cough Medicine. Excuse me. See? We cannot be defeated? Yes, you can. By humans with brains. So good, man. I still like this movie. I still enjoy it. I don't love it as much as Mothra or Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, but it still holds up, though. A lot of it does. Maybe the technology doesn't, but a lot of the effects and the music and the characters. If it's gonna crash. I'm so happy that the Shiro Honda used that music again. Yes, it's in the dub version as well. They don't alter it. You should escape. No, you can't. Into the future, the unknown. Yeah, and he blows up. Bye. Yeah, that's a fitting end to these aliens. Mm-hmm. Ah, this movie's so good, man. They all blow up. So long. That's what happens when you come into our land. Even in the movie Signs, Shyamalan knew that aliens can't handle the Earth. They couldn't even handle the water there. There's a remote control eyes. Now the monster battle continues. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wake up, Ghidorah. Wake up. You too, Rodan. Hmm. Yep, time to give you a hug again. Yeah, that's right. Boxing his heads. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to rewatch these again. And unlike the Gamera movies, there's less terrible movies in this franchise than Gamera. See, Rodan's getting his tail because there's no Mothra in this movie. Yep, he's electrocuting his feet. Watch this scene. No, not Rodan's wings. Yep, Godzilla got it by the tails. Just like last time. Boom. Yep, knocked it down, baby. All aboard, yep. Even though it's not a train. Here comes the final move set. This is hilarious. Like he got Godzilla right on his shoulders, and he pops him right into the water. That is great, man. Just these movies, they make me laugh so much, man. He Rodan puts Godzilla on his shoulders and then drops him right in his face, and Ghidorah's face, and of course he flies away again for the next movie, uh, Destroy All Monsters. That's the one that Ghidorah dies. So, yeah. But then he comes back with no explanation in Godzilla versus Gigan, because these monsters are immortal. They die and then they come back. There it is, flying away again. No, they'll be back. Godzilla comes back in several other films, and Rodan comes back in Godzilla and Destroy All Monsters. Two will be flying over Planet X again. Rest in peace, guys, man. You gave me a lot of smiles in this movie. Nick Adams did another a kaiju movie. He did Frankenstein Conquers the World. And that was Godzilla vs. Monster Zero. Another movie that I just enjoy. It's a lot of fun. You've never seen it, you couldn't stream it anywhere. There's a lot of places on streaming services that you can find these movies. They're easy to find, much easier to find now than they were back in the 90s. But that was it. I enjoyed this movie, and it's the last one I'll do for a little while. And the next one will be Mothra in a couple of days. But thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing one of the Batman movies. It has some Asians in it, and I'm doing it in Val Kilmer's memory. Batman Forever. That'll be tomorrow, hopefully. So I'll see you guys then.